few days is a TD portal. It's a fun in TD kind of it's a tool. It's kind of like a bookmark tool that takes you from one place of your network to another, which you can do this with pane settings and bookmarks and stuff, but this is kind of like a more fun and direct access to other places of your network, like a portal jumping through a portal. And it has some extra fun features which I can show, like animating the whole thing in touch, like shrinking the portal as shrinking the operator and stuff like that. Another thing which I'm kind of excited is a tool that I've released like almost 2 years ago, I think now. Yeah, exactly 2 years ago. Is Stop to MIDI, and it's basically a generic video / image to MIDI converter. And I've never really made a tutorial about this. It's really flashed out and a really generic system where you can define a lot of things. And recently I've seen a lot of people post on Instagram their visuals that kind of do similar things, but some of them also I've seen the network that they did, and it's all a custom solution that they did for that certain visual. And it doesn't have to be like that. There's a generic system which you can use and reuse instead of putting down 1,000 nodes and sampling. Yeah, I've just seen some people's networks, and I was like, okay, now it's time to actually revive this tool because it's really cool. Another thing is this visual. You cannot see much from it. It's a pretty intricate thing. I cannot really say in a few words what it does. You kind of have to see it in motion. Maybe I have it up actually.
Did we get maybe for that one we'll also get the text to come in from there? From the chat?
Yeah, it's a bit
so like
right
now. The text ones are gonna be kind of like all in one. We're gonna try and do. There's a few text ones that Dan has, and we're gonna try and like have the chat control them. So those are kind of all in the same one. I just wanted to.
Yeah, but basically this one I wanted to bring in because it's a pretty intricate system, and there's some things I do here which I haven't seen other people do, so I thought it could be fun to bring this one in to show. And then what else do I have?
That was it.
Yeah,
I have one more text one.
I have one more text one, which is this. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's just a lot of compositing and feedback and like kind of, this is a patch where I was just trying to mess with text in any way I could, or like kind of just jam around. So because of the chat integration, I thought I would also bring this in. We could take a look at that.
Okay.
And there's one more extra, which...
Oh, an extra. Oh, surprise.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. You kind of
okay.
Put it on the side, but I was like, maybe I still bring it up if people are interested, or maybe we get the inspiration. Is something that I just released on my GitHub. I haven't announced it yet. It's named NDI router, which I created for our studio space because we have several workstations and several outputs where we could output content. And the question was, okay, but how can we send from any workstation to the projector easily? Of course, NDI is a solution, but I didn't want anybody to have to open any UI interface or like, anything to just route something to a projector. Instead, based on what you name your NDI source, the NDI input gets automatically routed to the output source.
Nice. Jan is saying from Alt-TD, he's saying that's sweet. So he likes it.
Yeah,
I didn't add it to the poll. Poll, but maybe we can have it as an extra. My bad for not adding.
In any case, I can put. I'll just put the link in. I just put it in Discord. You can put it on YouTube also.
Yeah.
If people want to check it out on their own time. It also has a web interface. If you want to like manually override things, and there's a few neat extra things, and this can be definitely used by other studios. Or like I already talked to Marta Peng from Pixel Forest here in Berlin, and when I told her about this, she was like, "Oh, we need this in our studio," and I was like, "Okay, yeah,
Hell
you
yeah.
get it."
All right, sweet, dude. Thanks for that introduction to the set portion. It's gonna be really fun. But before we get to the set portion, let's talk to Dan a little bit. It's been a while since you've been on. I think it's been almost like almost a year. Yeah, almost a year, huh?
Yeah,
That's great.
definitely.
Time flies. And you know, you've been up to some really cool stuff. I kind of wanted you to start off with your studio, Derial Studio, and just kind of talk quickly about kind of what you guys have been up to. There's the Berlin Digital Art Week that everybody should check out. I'm going to put the link in the chat as well. You know, you can submit works and events. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, so just give us a little bit of a update of what's going on with Dan the Man and Derial the man. Derial the
my internal slogan is the real deal.
The real deal.
The real deal.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. So that's our studio that we run together with my friend Karim Hagazi and Stavrianos Kalidis here in Berlin. And yeah, lately I've been focused on doing works together with them and working together and doing projects and all that. And yeah, we've been together in the studio for like 2 years now, I think. Done a few art events and commercial works and such. And our next focus is the Berlin Digital Art Week, which happens from September 3 to 7 here in Berlin. And it's, as the name implies, it's a Berlin-wide digital art week. Couldn't be more clear. 1 week before the Berlin Art Week. And you can still apply as a venue and also as an artist to the open call. And the general idea is that the venues who we contacted are the venues who have applied, and the artists get matched based on their ideas and the availability and such. And then for a whole week we have the whole city hopefully activated and a lot of venues activated. We have some very cool venues. I cannot disclose right now what they are, but if you have been to Berlin, you probably have been to them, and hopefully we'll visit. And also, yeah, just apply. There's still, I think, well, maybe I don't remember the extended date. Maybe it's today actually. Apply by okay. Yeah, I think it's still live, the open call.
Nice.
And yeah, this is organized by Dirio Studio and 3AM Energy. And yeah, Dirio Studio I just talked about, and 3AM Energy is by Harshini of Node Institute. A lot of people know her. And yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, Berlin's like the best place to have something like this as well. I was just in Berlin a few weeks ago, and it was so nice to check out, you know, all the cool stuff happening there. Actually, I got to see a little bit of what we're seeing here, these TVs. Dan made this amazing patch for these TVs. It's like super procedural CRT TV mapper. But he showed it to me in a very scary, derelict, like I don't even know what to call it, like some alcohol dispensary or something like that.
Yeah, that's where our studio is. It's in Monopol is where we have our studio space. And yeah, Monopol has a lot of great spaces where we can, you know, temporarily, if there's no events, set up some of our tech and try out stuff in a nice environment. And for example, this is what we've been recently just if you see my screen, maybe. Can you show my screen?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so this is now our studio space, currently how it is set up. We have the TVs and
Nice.
2 projectors mapped, and now everything is mapped as one wall. And yeah, we've just set it up this way, and now we're gonna start building experiments and building ideas around such setups for the digital art week. We're also hopefully gonna have some solo shows, audiovisual shows. So there's a lot to work on in the coming 2 months, or 1.5 actually.
Nice.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny with the digital art week because everybody kind of thinks that this was a thing before, because it just makes so much sense for Berlin to have a digital art week. And you know, when we tell people, hey, like, have you heard about Berlin Digital Art Week? And like, yeah, the reaction is, oh yeah, yeah, I think I was there last year, and like, you know, and we're like, no, it's new. This is new. It makes sense to be there, but it hasn't been.
Nice. Nice. Well, I mean, you know, people should definitely check out the Digital Art Week on that website, berlindigitalartweek.com. Can't get a better URL than that. That's a pretty tight URL. And I also want to bring people over to Dan's Patreon. I guess most people that are watching are kind of already subscribed, but for our post stream, people should definitely check out all of the cool stuff that Dan's been doing here. We're going to talk, I guess, briefly about some of the new stuff that Dan has been releasing. For anybody who doesn't know, Dan's somewhat claim to fame, I guess he's, you know, famous for a lot of reasons, but his main claim to fame, I would say, I hope that's not offensive, but, you know, is the function store tools, because really that's like one of the best tool ever, as Jan is saying over here. And it's funny, when you wrote tool, then it it sent the tool logo down, which was pretty funny.
Nice.
But the function store tools is just awesome. Anybody that doesn't use it is lame, and also like wasting time in Touch Designer, because it just makes Touch Designer so much easier to use. My favorite thing is this little button over here. I don't know why you can't see my mouse. It's kind of annoying, but there's this little button all the way on the right. It's this little
the diamond button.
The diamond button. That kind of adds custom parameters really easily and simply, and makes your life super easy. So I really like that. And yeah, I want to go back here. There's some new stuff that Dan just recently released, is this amazing switch tools. You want to just give us a little bit of a rundown of that? Maybe while it's
sure.
playing? Or
yeah. I have a patch here where I could use it. I'm getting really framey though, because I have a lot of things open. So I'm just gonna close this. Yeah, so basically this, yeah, you can switch over to me. So basically switch tools attaches to any already existing switch top, or any kind of switch operator actually. So if I have my visuals here already, you know, maybe I've been using this switch to switch between them, but that's all it does. But a switch operator could do much more for us, I thought, and I just implemented all of those thoughts. So I already have my switch operator here. I can just drag and drop this onto the switch tools, and now it is controlled. This switch operator is controlled now by the switch tools. So obviously I can like still use the switch index, which now goes between the minimum and the maximum, you know, instead of 0 to 10, which is what the switch operator has. It has a looping control, so I could, you know, even go above the index range, and then it loops around. There's my favorite feature, which is the drop-down select menu. You don't have to anymore guess which index is which visual.
Oh, that's
so I can
so
just
useful.
say, yeah, just name your inputs accordingly. And obviously this doesn't have to be a comp, can be any input, obviously. And that updates real time here. There's also a control cooking option a cooking, yeah, cooking control option. So now only the selected operators cook, like so. Everything else is not cooked, and it also colors the currently active selection. We can still do blending in between scenes. So this is like a scene changer also. A lot of people do this already with switch jobs or whatever in whatever way with a chop execute, but this is now like a really nicely reusable, and like I try to think of everything literally. I even have input alignment, so I can move things around.
Nice.
I can align to the top or the bottom of the switch. I can even like, change the spacing around them. If
I think what's
if
really cool about this tool.
Mhm.
Sorry, what were you saying? If for some reason.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying what's really cool about this tool is that everybody's kind of like, if you're using Touch Designer, for shows and whatever, everybody has figured out their way to switch between scenes, right? Because you can't just use the switch top, because if you go from 0 to 7, it's gonna go through all of them, and that doesn't really work so well, and it doesn't have any optimization. It has some optimization to switch, but some comps cook when they're not, even when they're connected, so it doesn't really help. So I think what's really awesome about this tool is that it kind of has everything in one, including the optimization, including the ease of use. And, if somebody's built something already, that's always really useful. It's so funny because, like, literally last week or 2 weeks ago when I was in a Master of Puppet in Czech Republic, I was like, okay, I need to, like, actually have a switcher here for some of my inputs. I just never kind of, like, built it fully out, fledged. And I got like, I got so deep into like a vibe code of just like, I have 3 switches. One switch is like the main one, and 2 switches are like the optimized ones, right? So you have like, your A and B, and then my main switch switches to A and B. And then if I switch to like, whatever, if I go from, clip 0 to clip 9, then whatever the output on the switch is not, it switches the first one to that and then fades to it. It was so convoluted, but it was like, it was like the only fast thing that I could think of having like, an A to B switcher. But I wish I had this for that.
This is still not A to B because you still need to go through like, like if I wanna blend between 0 and 3, I can only blend between adjacent clips or adjacent comps, right? So that is
but if you
still
if you go to 3, it doesn't go to 3.
It does, but it doesn't blend to the 3.
Gotcha. Oh, I see.
Like
so it's still
in
going
between
1 to 1.
values. Yeah,
Gotcha.
but for that I have a simple scene changer component, also my Patreon, which is basically the scene changer, like similar to the built-in scene changer.
Right.
I just really simplified it as much as I could. By using sequence inputs, or actually like any kind of multiple inputs you can just pipe in.
Oh, nice.
And wait, I've set up.
So are you going to combine these two, you think?
No, because
they just fundamentally work differently.
Yeah, they are kind of different beasts in some way. You could, but then this would become a little bit bloated, and I just really want to keep it focused to the switch operator.
Gotcha.
But yeah, with this one, I'm just gonna uncook this in case it's. So with this one, I can go to scene 0, and then there's a crossfade length, and I could just go to scene 2.
Gotcha. Nice.
Like that.
Yeah.
So it's really simple.
So this, I mean, the only difference, not the only difference, but a big difference between with the switch tool is really just like you can't blend, but you can go from 0 to 9 without it going through 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9, right?
You can, but if you want to crossfade,
it will go through
you
all
can
of
only
them?
crossfade between adjacent ones. Yeah, you have to go through all of them.
Okay, but it still switches. Okay, I get it. So it's a little bit. Okay, so I guess my tool was good that I built my tool for myself.
Yeah, you could have used maybe this one, the simple scene changer.
Yeah.
I don't know if that.
But is that one as optimized? It's not as optimized.
It
does?
I mean, it's as optimized as kind of you can get with uncooking. Oops. And yeah, as you can get with uncooking stuff, you know, it also has an unload option.
Oh, we lost your touch designer.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, you can unload the GPU, which means like it goes through every top operator, and then it calls an unload function on those operators. So both of these tools do that, and
Nice.
that's kind of as optimized as you can get. But that's also not a nice thing to do always, because if you unload from the GPU, the next time you recook that comp, it's gonna take a little bit more like boot up time, let's say, you know.
Right. Of course.
So
Cool.
yeah, that's a thing.
Another thing I wanted to bring into attention was the pops. You know, I mean, like pops have been around. Oh, and before we get into pops, I just also want to make sure that people know that are watching that feel free to ask questions. We want to do a Q&A for Dan, so please get your questions ready. And yeah, so you have a really awesome introduction to pops. I was watching it recently. I think this is the second one, or this is the first one maybe. Yeah, I mean, like, it's pretty crazy how awesome they are. You know, how awesome the integration has been. I feel like from following the super early alpha to now, it's really great to see how much more stable they are, how much, you know, it's still like a little bit tricky to figure out if you're like not coming from Houdini or like anything with like attributes. It's still like a little bit of a weird one, but it's getting simpler, I feel, or at least like the education around it is getting more direct. Like I'm just trying to compare, like when I first opened Pops, like almost I guess 2 years ago now, maybe a year and a half ago, you know, following just like the documentation that they gave in the alpha, to like now listening to your tutorial, like the cognitive dissonance is like way less, you know, like I can really like listen to like a 10-minute tutorial, 20-minute tutorial and get it, versus before I was like so lost, and like even though the documentation that they gave and all the examples were very didactic and very like 1, 2, 3, I just couldn't, you know, wrap my head around it. But now I'm feeling a lot more confident with it from the tutorials that have come out. What has been how has it been like for you as we kind of like watch these little examples here?
Yeah, I mean, I was part of the alpha testing team. To be honest, I didn't really dive into it at the time of the alpha testing too much. I had a look once or twice, and I was mainly focused on making sure that my toolbar and my tools are gonna be compatible with it.
Right.
That was my first priority.
Priorities.
So literally on the day it came out on experimental, I released a compatibility update to my toolkit that's also like backwards compatible. So yeah,
Nice.
I took some time on that. And then once they came out, I just spent like my whole day trying to figure out stuff and trying to understand more. There were a couple useful things before. So I believe, I think, yeah, there was a workshop on the Node Institute like last
recently.
winter.
Oh,
there
last
was
winter.
one recently from Darian Brito.
Okay.
The most recent one, I haven't checked that one out yet.
Yeah, I need to check that one out too.
It's on my to-do list. Yeah, but there was from the Garrison brothers. There was also another one, I think, before.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. It was like for the during the alpha. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do that one?
Yeah, I followed that one. That helped me understand. But also, I think for me, it's not so alien to think about attributes, because I've been writing GLSL here and there, and you know, I always try to do top instancing, particle systems and all that. Yeah. So when you're doing particle systems and top instancing, you're already thinking of attributes. You just call them RGBA.
Right.
Instead of calling them actual names.
Like if you're transferring from tops to something else, data-wise, you have to think about attributes in some way, right? Because it's like you're storing them in a top in some way.
Yeah, and multiple tops, and that's
Multiple
that's the
tops, yeah, of
drawback,
course.
because yeah, if you want a particle system, you don't just have X, Y, Z
Right.
um, attributes.
RGB, you need more.
Yeah, you need more tops to store information or store attributes in. And with pops, it's just all condensed into one. Well, like yeah, one operator can have as many attributes as you want, I guess.
Jan is just saying it's really good. Hey Jan, are you talking about the Node Institute workshop? Just getting that in there. Sorry, Dan, continue. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah,
yeah,
we got one positive review. Nice.
we gotta check it out. Yeah. And I guess Darian Brito, he was the one who created this. Maybe I can get it up here on the screen.
Sure.
The examples, there is a.
Oh, some of the examples are crazy.
There's like a palette. I wonder which folder it was. Pop guide. It's the pop guide, I think. Was it?
I'm switching to you.
Yeah. So it's basically like an OP snippets for pops.
Oh,
a little bit
nice.
more elaborate OP snippets for pops. I'm just opening it up in the background.
Nice.
And that also helped me quickly get some ideas of okay, what kind of what each of them do, because I think that's the entry that is hard to get over with pops, is all the new operators, because there's just a lot of them and they are not like fully evident on first glance what they do. So yeah, oh shit, I cannot get this.
Kind of like everything in Touch Designer.
Yeah, we're just used to a lot of.
You just get used to
the
it.
already existing ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's this overview here. Yeah, it's basically OP snippets. But I cannot make it full screen, so just manually do it. And yeah, you can just look through these, and you can even check the network. So this was like a very nice, quick introduction to all of this. For example, the trail.
He's giving the workshop. This is the workshop.
And he's giving. This is not the workshop. Okay. This comes with the pops, with the pops examples. This patch. And then his workshop, I haven't seen it, but I guess.
But that is the work you're saying. There. This is the workshop that's at the Node Institute, is by this dude.
Yeah, it's by Darian Brito. Yeah.
Darian Brito, sorry. Shout out.
Yeah.
Sweet, that's awesome. My favorite.
I've been.
Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say my favorite examples are the YFX Lab stuff. I know it's like kind of old by now, but just their original examples were so cool. Yeah. All those kind of, let's see if I can find it. All those like melting faces and like just like kind of like stuff that you kind of want from motion graphics tools. Here I think this one. Like this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it's
that's super cool.
It's super cool, and it's like kind of stuff that like you couldn't do this really before. I guess Paqueta probably could, but like it would have been difficult and convoluted, and maybe even not even possible for some of the effects. And now it's just like super nice, running fast, and yeah, I'm just excited. Like and the cool thing about like this one, for instance, it's on the screen right now, is like you literally just switch out the mesh and it works on any mesh, kind of, as long as it's like kind of, got the same attribute, same sizing and everything. But I tested it out with like some other meshes and it was like super plug and play, which is obviously, why everybody loves real time.
Yeah.
So that was cool. So you're very excited about pops, I would imagine.
Yeah, I've spent some extra time also like starting to work on new ideas, and I have something on my screen now, which is showing that.
We're gonna go to your screen. Here we go.
It's pretty framey right now. I have a lot of things open again. So yeah, because this is based on trails, it's gonna not be nice. So let me see if I can close some other stuff. But yeah, basically, I had an idea, like I want to quantize. Oh, this is horrible. Okay, cool. Like I wanted to quantize positions of particles or whatever, and you can do a quantize pop. There's a quantize pop, obviously, but you can only set one level of quantization. And with pops, the whole idea is that you can map attributes. So some operators have a mapping feature, which means based on an attribute, you set a parameter's value to something else only for that particle or attribute that it belongs to. So I was like, I want multiple levels of position quantization. So you can see here, like the brighter something is,
Right.
the less quantized it is, and it shows, for example, it's kind of like an edge effect also.
Are you drawing like lines over the quantize? Like you're drawing like, yeah, like you're drawing lines over the cube of the quantize, or is the quantize over the lines? It's hard to tell. 'Cause it looks like the quantization is being drawn by a line. Is that just an effect?
Well, so what happens here, and I guess we are now jumping into like a mini set.
Yeah.
So this is still based on my latest tutorial, pop tutorial. Basically texture lookup of image, take any image or video to particle system. And so that is there, and then what happens after is I have a trail, obviously, for the particle trails. So that's still clear, that's still there. And yeah, then you would have a quantize. If I would just use a quantize top on this, I could only set one level of quantization.
Okay.
So I can say like, okay, I want these trails quantized with this value step, but it's only one level, and you could have like multiple if you created like multiple groups, but there's not like a parameter mapping as with other pop operators that you could say, okay, if the luminance is, I don't know, luminance is 1, then the value step should be 1. If the luminance is 0, then the value step for that particle should be 0. You know, this kind of mapping.
Right. So you're actually plugging that in as an attribute and then being able to affect per pop, I guess, thing. Yeah, and it's like super optimized, right? You don't have, it's not like a lookup or anything. It's like properly like being able to do that on the fly because it's just an attribute.
Yeah, but the thing is, as I said, with the quantized pop, you can only set one level. So I just spent like one night to just write my own quantized pop, where I can have like a quantization.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the quantized top can only do one level. So you're saying I got you. So you actually wrote your own quantized
pop.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah. So with this, I can set like a lookup curve, an attribute lookup curve
based on the size, on the pixels,
based on the luminance,
how white it is,
based on the luminance. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's kind of what's happening here.
I love it.
And it's kind of cool. Cool. Yeah, it's just one GLSL pop, and and this is kind of what I. Yeah, actually, no. It's pretty vibe coded though, so you know.
Dan, are you vibe coding? Come on, dude.
Well.
Come on, bro.
You know,
you have a degree.
you need to. Come on. Sometimes.
You have a degree.
No, you don't. Yeah, I'm not a GLSL master, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
you don't have a degree in GLSL. You need a vibe code.
No, not in computer graphics. No.
Everyone is vibing, Jan. Everyone is vibing for sure. You know, it's funny because it's used as like a derogatory term of like, oh, you're just vibe coding, and it's like, no, dude, I'm chilling and coding. I'm vibing while I'm coding. Like it's a positive thing. I don't need a degree. Okay, I can just vibe. I love it.
Right.
We're taking it back.
I mean, you know, I use AI assisted coding all the time, like for even my toolbar. You know, I just use it a lot because the thing is, I know what I'm doing, and I can smell bullshit from a mile away when it gives me bullshit.
Yeah.
So in that regard, for me, it's super handy
Super
to use and
useful.
super quick. Yeah.
Same. Jan is saying same. Yeah, I guess if you
Yeah.
have, it's like the same argument that not argument, but it's the same kind of like caveat that we're giving when it comes to like, oh, is art gonna go away kind of thing. It's like, yeah, the tools are gonna become more and more like people are gonna be able to use, but it's like if you have the experience and the knowledge of how to use the tool, then that's gonna be super valuable when you're using an AI to use the tool. And for coders, it's like the same thing. It's like if you actually know how to code, then your vibe coding experience is going to be way more valuable because you kind of smell the bullshit. I can't smell the bullshit. I'm like, oh, that sounds right. Build it, compile it, run it, and it's like, oh, it's not what I wanted at all. Have to go back. Yeah, like as time goes on, and especially if you're building like a big code base, you can kind of like, I'm writing a lot of instructions now, so like stay within these parameters. Don't, use this helper function. Don't use, don't use this. Make sure you use like, all these kind of like instructions so that hopefully when it's going through its processing, or it's, it's going through its
thought process.
Thought process. What's the word? Because it's like it's thinking, it's making up words as it's going on. I forgot the word for it. But basically, the instructions kind of direct it so that I don't have to like fear or worry hallucination. Hallucination, Jan, is like if it's going off completely, right? I'm thinking like more like when I'm typing and it's giving me an answer that it's kind of following some sort of direction before I figure out if it's hallucinating or not. But it still hallucinates all the time.
Yeah.
I've also been experimenting a lot with like, how do you ask the question? Do I ask it with like supernatural language, or do I like give it like, here's a prompt, here's a prompt, here's a prompt? And interestingly enough, like I find that the natural language gives me better results most of the time.
Yeah, I pretty much talk to the LLM as I would talk to any colleague. And I also give them the same amount of information I would give a colleague who doesn't know Touch Designer. That's the thing.
Right.
Because it doesn't really know Touch Designer. So you can try and rely on that. It's gonna get some things right, but it's gonna hallucinate 80% of attributes and Python methods of Touch Designer, and it doesn't know anything about your network. Obviously, this is gonna change. There's some very cool tools that's gonna come in the future from .simulate. Lyle, he's making his whole operator framework called LOPS.
It's super cool.
Shown it in a few places already, and it's gonna change the game.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then also Touch Designer is changing to they're going to What is it called? Unicode or something, like with the files.
It's gonna be like a JSON-like file system. Yeah, it's not. It's gonna be like some layer over JSON.
Well, I'm just saying it'll be easier to edit the node graph basically from the file.
Yeah, and it will be easier to train LLMs on Touch Designer networks also. So that's going to be very curious to see.
Right, you can just copy paste your whole file name, the file into the thing, and it's like, right, that's smart, right? Because it's not just about your one script. It's about the whole project.
First, you need to train obviously the LLM on different networks, different projects. So first, somebody needs to train whatever LLM. Like a custom LLM where it's specialized on Touch Designer project files, but it also opens up a whole can of worms when it comes to copyright and all this conversation around generative AI. Because what they did, and everybody knows this, they just took whatever from the internet and trained their LLMs on it. Like DeviantArt was one of those places, like it had millions of billions of images from small creators, big creators, whoever, and they just took all that probably and everything else. And the problem is that you cannot really opt out from being taken advantage of in this
getting
way.
A little bit better now, but yeah, I mean, definitely not in the past few years. Now there's some better ways to opt out, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know though, because let's say you have some visuals, let's say on Patreon or GitHub or the forums, somebody can just grab all that and without your consent train the LLM with that. You know?
But responsible companies that, I mean, I don't know about YouTube is probably not one of those responsible companies, but some responsible companies, when you know, on their EULA or their terms of service, you do have an option to opt out. But it's obviously on their responsibility to make sure that they're guardrailing their application to not be scraped, and then also that they're giving the user even the option to have that privacy option, which you don't really see it very often. But I did see, I'm kind of remember what was recently that I saw. I think it was like not Substance Painter, but like I can't remember the name. It's like a Substance Painter alternative. I just remember like installing it, and there was like a moment where it said like opt out of AI scrapers or something like that. Maybe I'm mixing, maybe I'm hallucinating myself, but there was something that I installed recently that gave me this kind of like pop-up of like opt out of being scraped by AI, which I thought was interesting. I don't know how the mechanism actually works, right? Because how can they even monitor that, really? But
yeah,
there's some lawsuits also pending now.
Anybody can just kind of, well, it's not just, you need a little bit more processing power, but you know, you can train an LLM, like an open source LLM, to be specialized on certain things.
It's true.
So nobody is stopping somebody from making
training
a touch designer LLM and training on from your style, your visual style.
Yeah, but then hopefully maybe the laws will, you know, adapt, and then you can sue somebody. You know?
Nah. No. We're like 100 years behind making laws. We should have already done those, you know.
Yeah, I know, you're right. You're right.
On this, and copyright law is and like
it's bullshit anyways.
Artists is bullshit anyways. There's a very interesting video. I always cite this video from Ben Jordan, who is my favorite YouTuber. I've been actually listening to his music for like 18 years now. Super cool IDM. Mostly like I could say IDM music, but he has a super cool music tech channel and music science channel, I would say, more so. And he dives into politics, also AI, and cool.
What's the channel
he's
called?
Also part of Ben Jordan. I will put the link in the Discord right now. He's also part of multiple like PhD studies and like consulting on science stuff also. Anyway, he has a video on copyright and how actually getting rid of copyright would save a lot of things and would make
getting rid of
better.
it. Getting rid of it.
Yeah, getting rid of it would be the way to go. And I cannot, you know, make a summary of it. You should just watch the video.
Yeah.
It's really he's really great.
Got
so
really interesting stuff for sure. Sound designer, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. Nice.
Yeah. He started doing
AI
YouTube
music malware.
Yeah, that's a very good one. I always also cited that one for people to check out.
Virgins are 59% less likely to own. What is that? Synths. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. He's
Okay,
a great inspiration.
I think we're gonna move a little bit to the set portion. But first, if anybody has any questions, it's a little bit silent here in the chat, which is okay. But if anybody has any questions for Dan, please shoot them our way. This is a good time for that. And based on the polls, I would say that Jan has a question. Curious about the MCP implementation for touch. Do you have any information about that?
Yeah, I would definitely wait for Lyle to release his tool set.
Yeah,
I have like a beta version of it. I tried it. I could control my network with my voice.
Yeah.
Just say set the ramp to 0.5, blah blah blah. So yeah, and he's building crazy stuff. Like some, you know, we chat a lot, and he sends me like links and screenshots, and I'm like always amazed what he's building.
His LOPS system is going to be crazy. So yeah, I mean the MCP integration already is there. There's also another tool that I saw somebody release. I don't know if it was Lyle, but it was somebody else released an MCP tool for Touch Designer specifically. Without any
I'm looking for.
You're looking for it as well?
Actually.
It doesn't have any like integration proper, but it does actually like have like it's like a side app that, you know, offloads all the needed information for the MCP server to work. So you still need an MCP server to access it, or a MCP agent to access it, but it does do a little bit of the work for you. It was released maybe. What did you find?
What I saved yesterday, I actually just found this yesterday, is TD-reg, and reg stands for retrieval augmented generation, and basically this repo, it says it's for answering questions about Touch Designer using wiki pages, tutorials, and other structured or semi-structured content. I haven't ran this yet, but it looks very promising.
So,
but also
here's another
also
one.
I know that .simulate is gonna have his own rack system in his lobs, so that's why
is a rack system similar to MCP? What's the difference between the two? I don't understand those.
It's different. It's a little bit of a topic change. Yeah, as far as I understand, rag is like more like a chatbot.
Gotcha.
Like a specialized chatbot. Where, you know, like this one, as it says, it's trained on the Touch Designer wiki and pages and tutorials and all that, and it's gonna answer all those questions. And Jan is also
there are also
something on Discord.
This is the one that I was seeing as well. It doesn't open for me for some reason, but I found it on GitHub. You have it open? Okay, great.
Yeah.
It's
by the way, also shout out to Jan for the OTD page.
Yes. Oh, that's cool. That's what his handle. I did not. I'm like Alt D. I did not get that, dude. Alt TD is awesome. Thank you very much for that, Jen. Shout out. It's also integrated into the function store, function tools.
Function no, that's Olib.
That's Olib. Okay, that's Olib. Okay, that's a different one. Okay, cool.
This thing. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Is there a link here? I guess there is on YouTube. Yeah, I haven't messed much with this kind of stuff. I feel old sometimes because I don't know.
You are old. What do you mean?
Yeah, I am. But I also I'm actually don't need this, or like I don't know. I like the manual labor of Touch Designer, and once it's taken away from me, like, you know, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna do art? You know,
right. Speaking of these tools, I'm trying to find it, but there was a really awesome. He posted it on like the forums, and it was like a tool to edit a script, like do scripting inside of Touch Designer that had also an AI like agent inside of it. It was like scripting. Yeah, that's. Do you know what I'm talking about? Did you see that? You see.
Are you talking about Shamanic Arts? He has.
No. It was like a
he has
being
able
to
TD codes.
Yes. Have you tried it? Looks super cool. He sent me an invite to it as well. I never had a chance to check it out.
I was playing around with it. I was missing some features which for me were kind of like
necessary.
Yeah, necessary for me to work. But I mean, it's definitely something to check out. I need to check it out again because it's been a while. Yeah, I'll post the link. It's been a while since I checked it out. But it's a very cool initiative.
Shamanic. What is it? Shamanic. Here
Shamanic Arts.
He posted it. Shamanic Arts.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna post it on the YouTube as well. All right, sweet.
I like it has code completion and
yeah.
Well, some code completion and LLM integration and all that. So
I just did the big shift. I know we've had this conversation before. I just did the big shift to Copilot from Cursor because I'm using primarily.
Wait. Do Copilot from Cursor?
No, from Cursor to Copilot.
Okay,
because
that's the way.
You heard about the whole. There was this whole controversy. You heard about it, right?
Around Cursor.
Yeah, I'll give the fast thing. Basically, there's VS Code and there's VS, Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is like, this is probably not the best way to explain it, but it's kind of the open source version of Visual Studio. So there's a lot of skins and different workstations to be able to use it, and you can use it in different Cursor is like a flavor of VS Code that is very integrated, so you don't have to like download new plugins. It's all in the same framework. But Microsoft own C++ and C#, and they basically gave access through VS Code to be able to use C# and C++ on any VS Code type of system. But because Cursor was kind of eating into their market of LLMs and agent scripting, they basically stopped the access of C++ and C# to any VS Code that isn't the original VS Code branch. So basically, if you're trying to do C++ or C# in Cursor, which is what I was trying to do for Unreal, you can't anymore. You can use old versions, but now the plugin isn't even searchable in the whole system. So Microsoft basically is monopolizing C# and C++, which is pretty illegal. I'm sure that there'll be some sort of lawsuit. There's already one started. But in the meantime, I had to switch to Copilot because I just couldn't use Cursor anymore. And they're kind of the same. I would say they're very similar. They're using the same LLMs, so it's not really such a big deal. I did think Cursor was smoother and faster, but I must admit that for the stuff that I'm doing in Unreal, being in VS versus VSC is a huge difference, because like Unreal is really built for VS. So like there's just so much more integration, and you don't have to do like all the back around kind of stuff. So I'm happy so far, but I hate Microsoft. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be part of their system in any way.
Right.
So what are you gonna do?
It's interesting though. Janis is right, because saying that Cursor also changed their pricing policies.
It's more expensive.
Recently, and
it is more expensive.
That was also a big controversy, and these days it was the first time I got like a pop-up saying that if I continue using their services like I am now, before the end of my billing period, I will run out of credits and stuff like that. So
no, GitHub is half the price. Copilot is half the price. It's $10 a month. Cursor is $20. But I think with Cursor you get access to more LLMs. They have more options. Not that makes a difference, because you're kind of gonna use the one that you like. But yeah, I mean, just being outside of, like, if I was developing an application from zero, there's no way I would use Visual Studio, because they're stealing your data for sure. But if I'm plugins and vibe coding and whatever, I feel like it's not a big deal. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. There'll be a lawsuit for sure. It's a full-on monopoly case. It will be for sure they'll have to change it. There's no way that they can monopolize on the thing that they made open source. It just goes against laws. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah, a bit interesting to follow for sure. Yeah.
I mean, Cursor definitely. Sorry.
I also kind of get their perspective in a way, in a very capitalistic way, obviously.
Come on, it's fucking Microsoft, bro.
I know.
It's like, I don't get the perspective. You made a system for everybody to use. You made it. Like, they made VSC to be open source. Don't go back on being open source because you're losing 10% of the market share. It's like, how much are they losing to Cursor? A minuscule amount of market share. Like, come on. Like, what the fuck?
Sure, yeah. No, yeah, I agree. I also don't like Microsoft. If I could avoid using Windows, I would. Yeah. I always say that I really hate Adobe, for example.
Same. And I'm fully no Adobe.
A lot of people are
no Adobe.
Yeah, I even say that even pirating contributes to their success. So I don't even pirate any of their stuff, because then you just become part of the kind of this message that is the industry standard, and that is what we should be using, even if you pirate it. So I just use GIMP for image editing. And,
Photopea. I love Photopea.
Yeah, and DaVinci Resolve for
Resolve for sure
for video.
I reset my whole Windows computer, and I have it installed. Because I use Substance Painter like a lot, but there's a Substance Painter version that you can get from Steam that you don't need the Adobe Creative Cloud for, because that's the real thing. That's the danger, is it installing Adobe Creative Cloud. it's spyware. It's like full on malware. There's tons of videos on YouTube showing it. Like you can shut it down, you can shut the processes down in Task Manager, but it's still scraping your fucking computer for who knows what. Who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
So there's a Substance Painter version that you can get from Steam. So now Steam's scraping mine, stealing my data, but at least Steam is a little bit less evil than Adobe, hopefully.
As far as we know, yeah.
As far as we know. All right, well, I think the polls are in. If there's any more questions, please shoot them, and we'll just continue asking them as we're going. But I think we should go with the... Where is my Discord thing here? I think we should go with the chat visuals walkthrough, but it's pretty close. I'd say between top to MIDI or chat to visuals walkthrough. I'll let you decide, Dan. I'll let you decide.
With the chat visuals, are we talking about the bullet solver or not?
Like all three of them, really.
All three of them.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, the one which I have the screenshot up now. This one, it's a big system, so there's a lot to talk about here. It's one of my most elaborate visual systems. So it could be interesting. I could get easily tunnel visioned into explanations here.
I can help you with that.
Yeah.
What are you more excited to show? You're more excited to show top to MIDI, or are you more excited to show some visuals? It's totally up to you.
Personally, I think top to MIDI is a little bit more interesting because you can get from my Patreon and you can just start using it if you like it.
Let's do that.
Whereas with this visual, I'm not releasing anything of this, and I will also need to rework this into pops because right now it's all top instancing.
Yeah.
And it's that's why it's also so complicated.
Okay, so let's do the top to MIDI.
Yeah, we could do the top to MIDI.
And let me just get this ready here. You can get it ready. I'm also gonna just address the audience. 1 second. I just wanted to say that first of all, anybody that's subscribed to the YouTube, I really, really, really appreciate the contribution. Even though it's small, it really helps out and also gives a little bit more motivation and want to continue. Not that money is motivation, but it's just like kind of the feeling that people are wanting to be part of it more than just watching. It really makes a big difference. So I really, really appreciate that. You know, we're going to have more and more guests. I'm getting the system more and more integrated, more and more fun with the chat system. So yeah, just keep on with us. You know, tell your friends about it. Stay tuned for the next guests in the next months. I will say that this week will be this episode released, but next week, not the live stream, just a normal guest. For any of you touch designer fans out there, I'm like almost tempted to say who it is, but I'll keep it as a surprise. But it's a really, really high level guest that I think most anybody who's a touch designer would be excited about. So just keep that in your mind. And yeah, I'm really, grateful for all of the subscribers and paid members. All right, so now we're going to go back to Dan's set, or now we're going to start Dan's set. And I think we're ready for it. You ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
I think so. We can do an audio check.
Yeah, I switched your audio. It sounds definitely worse now, but at least we'll get the audio going.
Are you hearing the synth?
Good.
Yeah?
I hear you
and
a little bit bad, so now I don't hear the synth.
Now you don't hear the synth. Okay, that's good.
But I do hear you. I do have the double vision, the double tunnel vision of you.
Huh? That's weird though. Cause I'm.
Oh wait.
Not
now it's better.
Huh?
Now it's better. Now put the music in.
Put the music in.
Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Check.
There is some weird doubling up. I'm not sure what that is.
Okay, I think it must be the processing, because I'm literally just sending the audio VST sound over to voice meter.
I mean, it sounds fine. I would veto it and say it sounds fine.
All right. Even if I have the music off, it's bad or.
A little bit, yeah. Like you're. You know what? Let me.
Okay. I'm not gonna have the
I,
music on.
I don't think it's from
always.
you. I don't think it's from you. Keep on talking for just a second.
Check. 1 2. 1 2.
Okay.
Check.
I found it. It's the echo cancellation, so that makes it sound nicer. Put the music on now for a second.
Music on.
Yeah. Fine. Little lower. Little lower. Little lower.
Or also for myself.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. That sounds
cool.
Good. Yeah.
So yeah, I just kind of wanted to build something live here with using top to MIDI. But first, yeah, I'm just gonna explain what top to MIDI is. It's a generalized image to MIDI note converter, let's say. Obviously, you can input any kind of image or video, and the magic comes from how you sample or where you sample certain notes or certain not notes, where you sample certain pixels that then become notes. Here I have a sampler which is a circle. Look at this. I could change anything about this circle here. What's up?
No, I'm just, your screen is cut off. I'm just trying to get it better in here. You're good. You're good. Continue.
Okay. Yeah. So you could change anything about this circle. For example, you know, I'm now rotating it. Like you see it here, and the sampling points change, obviously. Because, you know, like a lot of times how people do image or video to MIDI is the image, they might do like a top to chop, or like crop some image, some certain parts of the image, and then do a top to chop, and that's kind of how you can, you know, what's just the basic way of doing it. Instead, with my system, you can define whatever geometry. It can be a SOP, it can be tops also. So if I wanted to sample this top with random noise, yeah, here I have one. You know, now these random noise particles are going around and sampling the image. And there's multiple ways that I've built or like defined sampling or like triggering nodes. Let me get rid of the transformation here. Right now it's in what I call the index mode. And it's kind of also like a threshold mode. As you can see, the image is thresholded with this parameter here. And it's a very simple rule in this case. Once a sampled pixel value goes above the threshold, a MIDI note is generated or triggered. And each point has an index, which is not shown here. I should probably show the numbers here also. I believe I even have a setting for that anyway. But each index will correspond to a note in a musical scale. So here we have like 20 MIDI notes that are defined, but these are not continuous. These are not chromatic. Chromatic would be like taking all the keys on a piano or a keyboard and going through all of those. Scales are omitting some notes in between, and that's how we get some nice musical sounding notes. You know, music. And so this will, each of these triggered indices will correspond to a note. As you can see, this is MIDI note 45, 47, 49, 50, 52, and so on. And like, yeah, if we want to hear it, then this is what's happening. And what I can also do here is set the scale. So a lot of times you do this on a digital audio workstation like Ableton or whatever, that you can map notes to a scale. Here this is built into the top to MIDI. So if I wanted to change from a Mixolydian A to an A major, I can just do that. and I could even change to D major if I wanted to.
Nice, super
so
cool.
this keeps a lot of definitions, processes, whatever in Touch Designer without the need of Ableton. And for example, I've used this system in installations also, where we had some interactive LiDAR based wall touch thing, and then yeah, we were triggering sounds using this system. So yeah, that's one way to trigger nodes, and the other is a value based mapping, and that will just take, as you can see from the size of the circle, take the value of the pixel and play a note that is, the smaller the value is, the lower the note is, basically. And that sounds a little bit different.
So trippy. It's so trippy. I like the little visualization too. It really helps to kind of understand a little bit better what's going on.
Yeah. So yeah, with this, you can do a lot of extra. There's also extra features where you can use this as kind of like a duet companion. So instead of defining scales with this predefined major, whatever, Bacchian, and the keys, you could be holding a chord on your keyboard, and that would define what notes get triggered. So you could literally be just playing live on your keyboard some music, and then these notes will correspond to what you're playing also. And that would be the live mode, which I think, yeah, I don't even know how to get it working right now. It's been a while. Yeah, so I thought it could be fun to try and build something here live that can be fun. So the first thing that kind of comes to mind is taking my webcam image, so I can just spout in from my Oak cam and use that to then trigger nodes. And obviously we can change back maybe to index mode, like a threshold mode, and then we could do something like this, and that's kind of the version 0, or like the first thing that you might want to do with this. It's just node triggers with my hand.
Nice.
And then we could also do like a game that I just was like, okay, I just realized like we could do that. Let me mute this. We could do a game where you have to catch notes. So we could have, for example, we could have a visualization that we visualize these points, let's say, that are now in 2D or in 3D space. I could use this as the, as I showed before, as the sampler, so the position of the sampling points. But then we should also render this somehow. So I'm just going to quickly do a render network here for this, so that we can see these points in some way. I should be using pops, but this is not pop version yet.
Oh my God! Look at Dan's palette. If only we could have access to Dan's palette.
Points up. This is the best. Everybody
Yeah,
should have a
exactly.
points up.
Yeah, but whatever. You just have all these tools. You're like one of the. You're the type of person that will, any 4 nodes you put together into a useful thing, you'll make it into a palette tool.
I'll try. Yeah. I think, yeah, for me the fascination of Touch Designer comes from just building all these reusable things, and that's the reason to to do it. Okay, do we have instancing? Not yet. We could take these RGB. Where we're not seeing anything. Points. Okay.
There you go. Nice.
There we go. And I just got to make sure that my aspect ratio is the same, or like the resolution should be the same as my image here. First of all, width dot height, and then also what's important, it's an orthographic render, so we need the ortho width to be the same also as our image, and hopefully that's correct. Maybe it could be 1/. We'll see it in a second. But what I wanted to do, and why I did this now, is I just want to composite these two together. So we have like a
visualization.
A visualization of that.
Nice.
Okay, and let's see if that matches now with this. How can I see it?
Kind of.
No.
No, not
it does
really.
Not.
No.
Yeah, no. So maybe it is.
But look at that one, doesn't match either. The actual render doesn't seem to match. Oh, there you go.
This might be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
Kind of. But look at your arm. Look at the bottom.
Oh yeah, you are.
It's
right.
like shifted a tiny bit.
No, I think these are the same.
Or is it inverted? Is it flipped?
It could be.
There's like a cluster there somewhere.
But it should be from the bottom left now.
Maybe make the dots black so you could see them on your white.
No, I should have it. But somehow they are not matching. Because maybe in this preview I need to reset the position of them. Because here you can move around actually the
the actual sampling points. Gotcha.
So maybe I just need to reset it because maybe it was moved. The offset helps it put it in the center. So that's
gotcha.
That's what the offset is there for. Let's see now. Did I catch it?
How can you see the white dot on your right hand though? I guess you can see it.
I don't know.
I just can't see it.
I can see it better, yeah.
Cool. Nice, you did it.
Okay, I think that's kind of solved it.
Yeah.
In any case, this is now. I mean, we could even just use this actually. Now that I think about it better. And again, it's just you need to catch the notes, kind of. You know, you could make this better obviously with actually I can make it that my background is removed from my webcam image. Yeah. That will help. And now we just need to find the notes. I mean, yeah, this is super simple.
No, that's why you have you put the white dots so you could see where they are. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you need to work on it a little bit more to make it gamified.
But it's super cool. But it's super fun.
But then yeah, for generative art, we can just take like some feedback network. So for example, I have this lovely feedback gen, which is all the feedback stuff combined into one comp that I have. And with this one, what I want to try is make an audio reactive feedback. Oh, this is so messy. I'm just gonna remove this. So I want to have like an audio reactive feedback going, which means what I want to try to achieve here is make the image generate MIDI notes for me, right? That's what we've been doing, and take the audio that's generated from the synthesizer or the VST and feed it back to make the visual audio active. So the visual kind of reacts to itself, or like the music that it makes.
Interesting.
And that can get interesting if you can get some interesting visual going.
Hey Dan, sorry, I just want to ask a question.
Yeah.
So the VST that you have plugged in there, it basically can be any VST, right? It's just, you're just sending out MIDI.
Yeah.
Like it's pure MIDI. You could even connect to Ableton. You can either connect to anything really that takes a MIDI. Right? That's like the kind of the concept of it. It's just like any MIDI, but you're just using a built-in VST that is taking MIDI in. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Here you could have MIDI, and you can just define your MIDI out chop or a VST chop, and that's it. Here I have like the built-in, what ships with Touch Designer is this high poly.
That's version. What ships with it? Cool.
Yeah, that's what's in the palette.
It's a synth. Nice.
Yeah, it's a simple one, but it's useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, first of all, we need some cool visuals to go with. I'm gonna try to cook something up now. Some feedback, fun. You know, classic slope feedback kind of deal. Probably would be useful to have a threshold. THD car. This is just a threshold and the multiply.
How much can I buy your palette for? How much are you selling it for?
We'll talk about that off stream.
Nice. Too high of a value. Too high of a number to say.
Okay, so that kind of gives us more space in between the blobs. I think we can also do something like this maybe, or like add some noise to it.
Too much white.
I do wonder though. Yeah, it's too much white. I do wonder maybe it's better if I just don't do that and just rely on the movement here, and anyway I can threshold after what I react on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this could be a good start.
Be less opacity.
I think that's okay, because I want. Yeah, I just don't want just the noise. I want the organicness to be there.
Right. Oh, that looks nice.
Something like this, and then yeah, I think some thresholding can always help, so we just don't just trigger on everything, right?
Right.
And then, and then now the thing is to get the audio back, right? So we have the audio that's coming from the VST, and we use that as a source for our audio analysis.
Whoa! What was that? What was that key press you just did for the select?
That's Alt select. So
is Alt that a Touch Designer?
That's in my toolkit, in my toolbar.
That's in your toolkit? Jesus.
Yeah.
The best
You just hold
toolkit
Alt.
in the world.
I use this all the time. You just hold Alt and drag an operator, and then that's select.
No, dude, having selects is so, like, not always, but it's so much cleaner sometimes than having like noodles going back and forth. Like just having that select.
Yeah, I mean
there,
now I would
so
have a noodle like going like this.
Yeah.
It's like
no, for sure,
same.
it's way more cleaner this select.
Yeah. Okay, and now we could have yeah, the low frequency. That's a good one. To be our other active element. Basically, that's just the RMS now. But yeah, maybe we can drive the speed of the
noise.
transform with that. Yeah, and just see where that takes us. I don't know. I've tried a few times to get some like stable reactive system going like this. Wait, I wanted a speed. Yes. Speed. Cool.
Dan, what's the you're gonna know the answer. What's the best newest feature in the in the new branch of Touch Designer?
I don't know.
The
There's
the speed
the
chop has
speed,
a constant in it.
yeah, yeah.
That's like
I knew you were
the
gonna.
best feature ever. Oh
Yes,
my god.
yes.
I want
Because
every
I
node
had
to
in
have
my.
that. I want every node like a math node should have it. Everything should have just built-in constants, you know? Like
Hmm.
it will save so much time and nodes.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Or like every constant should
With
have a
this
range
speed chop.
math, you know? Anyway.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a custom comp for you at that point. Let's see if I like make this go crazy. So now this reacts a lot. Maybe without the feedback. Let's see.
Whoa. It's
Now they are
triggering
a
the
lot.
low too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
maybe
And
do like
I think I want also like a circular thing to. Ah, now it stopped. Ah, yeah. You see, so that's the problem with the system, and that's what I
yeah,
was gonna say, that you have to find a stable solution where
it
if the
continues on
music stops
itself.
for a while, it kind of recovers
Yeah.
somehow. Um,
Maybe also add in
and
like a low, like a sorry, a
I
high.
could do like a trigger here, or like logic probably. Or yeah, you're right. Also, I could just do like a range where there's like a minimum always. So like make it make it kind of, yeah. It's now slowly moving, but you know it's too slowly moving. When it's okay. Now when those get triggered, it goes more crazy. And then the question is, okay, this is the starting point, but then where do you go from this? And that is the interesting question.
Music.
Music, yeah.
It's a computer making music.
Yeah, it's an autonomous system at this point.
It's pretty cool.
And I'm hoping in some way to find like a parameter that makes sure that this kind of keeps moving even if there's no movement from the image, like just based on the feedback,
The noise.
parameters.
Feedback.
Yeah, like if I make this slope not slope inwards but slope outwards, so I'm like making it move, grow. That can be a way. Yeah. I could see a system also where I'm not using like a noise to generate the visual, but rather obviously I would put like some feedback after it or some effects, some post effects, but for example, just using the circles as the visual generators that then trigger the feedback network, that then trigger the sound, and vice versa. And also maybe what can be very interesting is blob tracking.
Yeah, that could be
doing
really cool.
yeah, defining the sampling points based on blob tracking or computer vision or whatever. Media pipe, for example, can also be one of those things that define the sampling points. But yeah, the point of this whole system is that it's super flexible as I'm just laying out all these ideas. Literally, the thing that you need to do is define the sampler in whatever way. Can be subs, can be, I will have to get to that. And your input, and then you have to decide, do you want to trigger based on the threshold or the values of things. So yeah, I guess we don't want to watch me like noodle around for like an hour or like 5 hours or 10 hours.
Well, I was
Depending
gonna
on something.
say, maybe we can, in the time we have left, I think we have like another like 10, 15 minutes here. Maybe we could look into, I mean, maybe we can do 20 minutes, but let's look a little bit into the code. Is there anything specific there that's interesting for us to look at that you can kind of walk us through? No pressure, of course.
In this code?
Yeah, in this code, or just in the top to MIDI, like just how it's kind of set up, or at least
Sure.
like the machinations of it. For any of our super hardcore nerds out there, nerd alert, nerd alert.
Yeah. So the first thing that happens with this is obviously the input processing, so the threshold of the image. Then this is a separate component that works standalone also. Then this is what does the sampling of the values, of the pixel values, based on the sampler. And like there's some parameters here to change some things. The visualizer color, which doesn't change anything. And then after that, basically it's just taking as many samples as the sampler points, or the sampler points, and turning it into chops. So that's what happens here. It's basically, so far it's been just a fancy top to chop, and then where the real magic happens is the MIDI scaler, is where all the MIDI notes are getting assigned, and all the scale definitions happen here. For example, I could have, right now I have like 2 octaves. Like octave 2 is where the notes start. I could start them from octave 3 once they trigger. But then kind of the issue is that I now have 20 points here, but in an octave you have 12 notes. So there's, for example, an extend mode, which I believe should work. I don't know why it's not working. Do I need to be in value mode? Yeah, in value mode. I can extend from the octave, so it goes beyond its octave, so we have higher notes also.
That's cool.
And I can define how far these steps go. Yeah.
I love that.
So all this is inside the MIDI scaler, which is also like a standalone component. You could use this without the sampler that's before. You could just literally just pipe in just a chop to use this. So it's kind of a modular setup in this way. That's why I try to like build everything modularly, so I can have reusability, obviously. And in here, what happens is some crash prevention. I don't remember anymore.
Crash prevention. That sounds cool. Yeah.
And then here we have whether we trigger nodes based on the index or based on their pixel value, and this takes care of that. I don't know what's here. Some script chop stuff. Okay, I'm not gonna remember that. But yeah, this is where we map the samples to the nodes, but not yet MIDI nodes, because then we also need to trigger. I have like different trigger options. I have here in the input like a trigger gate length, minimum sustain length, retrigger delay, so you can have more control over how much things get triggered. I have a randomize option, and then basically there's a huge extension here, which is the bulk of the component. And here is what I use. It's called Mingus. Mingus is a Python MIDI Python MIDI / music notation library.
Okay.
So this helps me with being able to use the scales. So when I say Dorian, like a D Dorian, Mingus takes care of translating that to note values. So there, it has a library of scales and then keys and all that, and it even takes care of me typing wild stuff like D sharp, 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 flat, 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 flat. You know, it resolves it into an actual. Oops, this sound. It resolves it into an actual note.
That's so cool.
Stuff like that. So that happens. That happens with Mingus. And there's a lot of logic here that deals with just the scales and like converting them to MIDI notes and outputting to the MIDI, extending the octaves from the 12 notes to the next octaves and so on. Triggering. So that, yeah, a bulk of it happens there. I wanted to also show one thing here, which is custom scales. So you could ignore all the like, you know, pre-built scales and you could build your own custom scales. And the way that you do that is with a table. I could just add here visual casts and then I could define notes here, and that will be my custom scale and so on. And then the next time I
deeper into that, that's cool.
Open this, it's gonna only trigger those 3 notes, those scales. What's happening now?
It's very low.
It seems to be stuck.
It's like. Oh, there we go.
So that's the 3 notes that I defined here.
Nice.
I could make this like very low note. So yeah, that's the custom scales stuff here. Yeah, I mean that's the quick rundown of the tool, I guess.
Super cool. Yeah, I mean the intricacy is just like so valuable. You know, it's just like I just love when you kind of dive into the functions of your functions tools or whatever. I don't know what the best way to say that is, but you know, just seeing kind of how the sausage is made, it's so cool and really intricate. You know, really intricate. Is this tool is available on your Patreon?
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
Maybe we can get a link up somewhere.
Yeah.
For me the fun part of building this was also just finding all the features that I would want in it, and you know, it started super basic, basically, like, you know, as every idea, and then from then on I'm like, hey, maybe I could do this, maybe I can do that, maybe I can do that, and then it just spirals out of control, and at one point you have to stop, obviously, and that's also kind of fun, like finding the sweet spot of intricacy.
Totally. It's
a yeah, I really enjoy.
No, I'm just saying it's a skill to be able to know when to stop, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I really enjoyed building this tool. It's been a while. It's 2 years ago, so I should make some proper tutorials out of it and some proper pieces, because I see on Instagram like people doing similar stuff, and I'm like, hey, it's nice, but maybe you can try my thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying I have it already. I don't want to be like that, but I just wanna point it out that you don't have to spend or like you don't have to build this whole, you know, top to chop thing that I see some people do, pipeline, yeah, and that only works with one visual, and now if you have another visual you have to like do it all over again.
Yeah.
Instead there's like a generalized system where you can just focus on creation and not deal with the annoying small things.
Well, thank you so much for that. Really awesome to kind of see into that, and you know, the live streams are a little bit more condensed, so we're gonna move on here to the last portion. And yeah, thank you again for that. Super cool. Definitely check out Dan's Patreon with his killer MIDI to top tool, or top to MIDI. I think sounds better.
Top to MIDI, yeah.
Top to MIDI, MIDI to top tool.
Because it's that.
Because it's that. Yeah. No, well, you could make a MIDI to top tool, right? I guess it already exists, just a MIDI chop.
Yeah, chop the top. Yeah.
Chop the top. Cool. Well, I wanted to talk to you a bit about some simple topics. We kind of spoke a little bit about vibe coding before, but I was talking over you a lot, so I wanted to kind of give you the opportunity to talk a little bit about it, more in detail. Like, what are you using, vibe coding for in your day to day? What's some tools that you're using to vibe code with, and kind of your general kind of vibe around vibe coding? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think we touched on a lot of things on this previously. Yeah, as I said, for me, it's just, yeah. Recently, actually, I was on the train, taking a train from Budapest to Munich, like 6.5 hours, and I was working on my tools and different things on my MacBook, and I didn't have stable internet connection, so I was left without Cursor, which is the IDE I use for AI assisted coding. So yeah, it's been a while since I coded without the use of LMs, and it was really funny how the muscles that I had kind of were yeah, not used for just coding everything. Like, I hate typing out all the parentheses and all that. I mean, I not hate, but it's like, if I can get away with just the LM figuring out what I want to type, then obviously it's going to be better. So yeah, I spent like 6.5 hours just coding without LMs, and by the end of it, I was back to my normal rhythm, let's say. But the first
how many hours?
Half hour was like 6.5 ish.
Okay, not so bad.
But yeah, I mean, the first 1 hour, let's say, or half an hour was miserable. I was like, I feel handicapped. I really feel like one of my hands chopped off.
That's so funny.
So yeah, for me, it's now it's a must, really, and I tell people to use it because it's just gonna make everything faster. Obviously, if you don't know anything about coding, it's gonna be rough. It's a learning tool also, but I feel like it still is not the way to learn coding. Like, you still should read books, watch tutorials, take classes, and all that, because the AI obstructs a lot of like the AI makes it seem like it's magic, while nothing is magic. There's no magic in coding. Everything needs to be written. Everything needs to be defined. Everything has a reason why it's written like that and why it's there. There's no there's no like underlying layer that okay. Of course, you can use libraries which hide a lot of information from you, and then like they do a lot for you.
Or like IntelliSense, what is it called? Like what is the word for autocomplete? Yeah, stuff like that. But it's not really helping you, really, right? It's still.
Yeah, you still need to know what you're doing, and you're still spending a lot of time just checking if the code is right, and you have to like actually run the code and like test the code to understand whether what it did was right, and that takes a lot of time also. Instead, if you know what you're doing, you can just look at the code and you can already tell if it's good or not. And to me, that's the biggest difference. Yeah, you can vibe code away, but you need to understand what you're doing. It's gonna hallucinate a lot of things. It's gonna I'm right now working on a secret project together with
secret.
Yeah, together with Nelson, who is shout out to Nelson, by the way. He creates amazing tools as the Touch Lab. Let me see, Touch Lab. He creates very fun tools, and yeah, for example, TL Snake. look at this one. I don't know if you see my screen.
You let me do that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow, look at that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So.
That's from Vibe Coded.
Yeah. Nelson is a photographer. He's
Wow,
amazing. He vibes codes this kind of stuff, like
so crazy.
this TL Gizmo. You know, like look, we've all
Crazy.
wanted something like this.
Yeah. Great.
There's also what was it? There is TL Intact. Yeah, this is next level. Like this is so fucking cool. You can turn any object into
A tracker.
into like a knob or like a slider.
Oh yeah! Wow! I love this.
Look.
So cool. Oh, look how smooth
Amazing.
it is, huh?
Yeah, it's really great, and I was so surprised to learn that he doesn't know coding at all, and it's all vibe coded.
That's the beautiful
he's
thing
so
about this.
And
these vibe codes is like, sorry to cut you off. It's like the super cool thing about vibe coding is just like the way that if you have a brain that thinks in a certain way, like this way, then you can really know how to prompt the right things to get to where you need. And you know, and it's gonna like amplify if you have experience of coding, if you have experience of touch designer, of course. But it's just crazy how like nowadays, really, if you have like vision or creative like understanding of comprehension of whatever it is you're trying to do, you can really make things.
Yeah.
Super cool. Also, Jan said check out MSTY for offline coding. MSTY app.
Misty.
But Dan's trying to get his muscles back.
No, I'm not. So yeah, like definitely check out the Touch Lab. He releases all this for free, by the way. So he's not even
really look at that.
Doing it for the, yeah. So recently I started working with him on a passion project of ours.
It's a secret.
And you know, it's very funny to be paired with somebody who doesn't have any background in programming, and it's all vibe code, and it's been a learning experience for both of us for sure. It's going great, the project. I really want to share it. Soon it's gonna be shared to the world. It's gonna change touch designer.
To change everything.
I mean, it really will. Like if you manage to get it working, it's gonna be, everybody's gonna love it. That I can
super
say.
Cool.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, I see, obviously I review his code and I just see what the LLM spits out without kind of supervising, and it is you know, something to deal with. I don't know. We have to get used to people just vibe coding, but also we have to educate them. And you know, I can definitely see, for example, in the case of Nelson, he has a very good attitude towards code and building tools, and he also wants to learn. So you know, that's the beauty. Without vibe coding, he probably wouldn't have started on this path, and he wouldn't be going on this path. So that's super cool, but you have to have the right attitude, and you have to want to learn and not be stuck on just vibe coding, because yeah, you can get so far, but then people who actually know how to code, they could, you know, get it further and more stable. Like what we started working on now. I started collaborating with him on this because it's a huge undertaking, and I just know that if you just straight up vibe code it, it's not gonna work. You just cannot vibe code this. It's so complex. It's so big. Yep. If you don't do it perfectly, what we're doing, then you might as well just throw it in the trash. So that's why I was like, okay, now it's time to collab on this. I've had the idea also before, without going into too much detail. So it was a good motivation for me to just continue on that project, which is gonna be released sometime, hopefully.
You all check out all of Dan's socials to find out when that comes out. Jan had another question. Would love some tutorials on that. On what exactly, Jan? Sorry.
Yeah, I think maybe he was talking about the TL, the TouchLab stuff.
We'll find out in a second. So yeah,
how to prepare the vibe code. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's a good question.
Well,
I think that
I think.
Please.
Yeah, to give you like my suggestion and how to vibe code with
Specifically
TD
for touch, yes.
Specifically for touch designer. Obviously, we're gonna have more tools coming out which are based on or like taught on the documentation of touch designer. So that's gonna improve in the future. Until then, you cannot really avoid knowing the touch designer API, Python API, which is, by the way, very nicely documented and structured in the wiki. So it's just nice to just surf around and try to internalize certain things that are available. But the way I go about LLM assisted coding is I abstract away touch designer from the problem. So if I'm dealing with let's say parameter values or whatever, the function that I want to build with the LLM, I already provided just values or like lists of values or values to operate on rather than the parameter object, because it doesn't know much about the parameter object. It knows basic Python stuff as you know, dictionaries, sets, lists, float values, text, all that. And if you abstract away the problem into those simple data structures rather than touch designer's, let's say, complicated data structure, you can get away. You can make the LLM work for you better.
Very interesting. I would say, you're coming at it from a very specific place of knowledge and understanding and being able to abstract things. From my experience, like not having any of that experience that you have, I feel like the LLMs do understand like the expressions and references, especially if like you specify I'm in Touch Designer and I'm trying to do, I always say I'm in Touch Designer, I'm using a chop execute, or I'm in Touch Designer, I'm using a dat execute, etc., etc., etc. I want to do this and this and this. I'd say pretty much always it understands what I'm trying to do, especially if I have like, just an example, maybe my chop execute is sending data to a table or whatever. If I give it the name of the nodes that I'm trying to use, it usually is pretty good with understanding. Where it does fail, and you're right, like abstracting the parameter would save me a step of explaining to the LLM, is like dot parameter dot function, or no, what is the word? Dot parameter dot parameter, the name of the parameter. It doesn't always know internal parameters, definitely doesn't know if you make custom parameters. And then it also sometimes will like not understand class things. So like, bypass equals true instead of like, it will do like dot bypass dot, equals 1 or what does it always do? It always gets that messed up with the cooking. Allow cooking equals true. It doesn't understand allow cooking. So, but that's like, that is a small fix and change, but abstracting it definitely would save you those things. The question is, are you on the level that you can abstract those things? And would abstracting it create more confusion for the LLM? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
I think when I say abstracting, I also mean, as you say, context matters a lot. When you're working with LLMs. So if you give it enough context, it will figure it out a lot by itself. So if you can just for one more second switch to my
sure,
screen. Like I always work in extensions, and just a very quick rundown of extensions. Instead of having my code scattered around in multiple chop executes, dat executes, whatever executes, I have one extension where all those executes call into. So for example, if I have a parameter, let's say I have on pane owner changed. So this is when I navigate around the network with a chop, like an op execute, this gets called, and I don't write the code in the op execute or the chop execute itself. I just call a function to my extension, and then all my code
sorry, Dan. I'm gonna just
Hmm?
just. Can you show what calling a module looks like for any of us in
Um,
here that don't know what that means?
yes, yes, yes.
Because it's super valuable what you're telling us right now, and this is like how people actually
Hmm.
code. You
Yeah.
know, just to dumb it down even further, an extension is almost like a one script that has, I mean, you kind of said it. I'm just trying to dumb it down even
Hmm.
further.
Yeah.
Like where you have all of your functions, right? Like each define underscore get network middle is a function, is a module. So instead of having that little piece of code in different places, you literally have like your little places that you're calling code just calls that one place. Um, yeah, I mean, you explained it better. Actually, I just
So
made
for
it more
example,
complicated.
when I now change panes, so like if I move around in my network, this changes that, right? And this is just watching the UI.panes.current.owner, and I have a on table change callback here on this, and that's calling the extension on pane owner changed. And instead of writing a bunch of code in here, and also in other executes, like I have here just an execute on a frame start execute.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Instead of writing all the code in these different operators, I just call the extension method. And
Yeah.
if you want to learn more about this, I have a workshop at the Node Institute about extensions and Python and Touch Designer in general, to dive deeper into that. But yeah, this is all I write here. And the cool thing is now I don't even need to know where this is, or don't ever need to come back to this specific callback. I just need to work on my extension code here. And this can do also much more than just holding code. It can hold information between calls, so you can store information between calls. You can store information between restarting Touch Designer, also, and have dependencies, and there's a lot of
Oh, I never
extra
thought
features
about
that
that. Like
executes
the
have.
extension actually like allows you to like send data between different. I mean, not like literally, but it allows you
Between
to
different executes, like
between different
yeah, share data
executes.
between
Yeah,
executes.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's so smart.
exactly.
I never thought about it like that. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a class. It can hold information. And what I also meant by abstracting information is, for example, some of the parameters I define as a property. So
Mm-hmm.
now it knows that I have this enable animate arrival property. It doesn't need to know about the dot part or whatever.
Right. Just
It
has that.
understands this. Yeah, and I can also like say the current pane. I have like a last valid pane or
Mm.
the UI.current pane, and so on.
Mm.
And I can have setters and all that. So all this is context also for me, so that I don't have to write down this long
The whole
line
thing.
when I want to access a parameter. Instead, I have all these properties and such. So context matters, and also like abstracting Touch Designer and abstracting the problem at hand into human readable attributes and
Mm-hmm.
methods.
Mm-hmm.
That's also part of the abstraction. Because when I now read my code, I don't have to read when I want to refer to the current pane owner. I don't have to read UI dot blah 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 dot blah 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 dot blah blah
Right.
blah. I can just read it as human language almost. And that's also what I kind of mean by abstraction.
Almost human language.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a very dumb question and maybe doesn't even make any sense, but I feel like asking it anyways. Is an extension like like a helper function that you would have in C++? Is it anyway similar?
No, an extension
No,
you should just think about it as
like a library.
a base comp, a custom base comp. It's a
Mm.
custom base comp
It's
that
like
you can, because in the end what we're doing in the extension a lot of times is having these callbacks pipe into that. Also, you can do many other things. It's just a normal, like a generic Python class, Python
right.
object, rather. So again, there's no magic there. But what it really allows you to do is define a base comp as a Python object that you can call functions on. So even from the outside, you can call specific functions that obviously you can call them with custom parameters, but you can also just call them with a Python script. But yeah, the way to think about it is extensions allow you to build custom base components better.
Interesting. Yeah, I love when you talk about this stuff because it's like so fundamental, and especially for the vibe coders and just in general people that are starting to get into this, it's you know, it saves valuable time. I'm also putting in here a link to Yasha Seuss's, shout out Yasha. He has a great tutorial on how to use cursor, even though we just spoke about cursor, but I think for Python it's still okay. But how to use cursor and with Touch Designer. There's a few small things there that are really useful. I think one thing that Dan didn't mention, maybe you kind of did mention it, but when it comes to the instructions that you give the LLM, so like, you know, like each cursor has like a dot cursor file, and Copilot has a dot instructions, but it basically, it's like a context for the agent, and you can put links in there too to like reference manual pages and things like that. It really helps. You know, besides for giving it like actual context of what you're doing, giving it like, hey, if you don't know this thing, reference it from this web page. And you can get an LLM to write you an instruction if you really want to go that deep, which is also very useful.
Meta.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's what it's like, right? People are using prompts from AI to prompt AI, and you know, this is kind of like makes sense in that way. Awesome. I think the last thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and it's kind of like a more fun thing, you know, Berlin. I was just in Berlin, and it was so fun to kind of like, you know, just obviously being able to see friends and you and other people was really nice. But I think for me, I live in the mountains. Like being in the city, like any city is exciting, I guess. But something about Berlin really struck me, you know, like I was kind of like finding myself staying up late and being like very energized, and then waking up and feeling very like vibey and like going places. And I don't know, you're come from a lot, you live in a lot of cities, you know, you've kind of had this like a city lifestyle, I think for a lot of time. Maybe not
2 cities.
Okay, but at least, you know, you've had this city kind of experience.
I'm a city boy for sure.
You're a city boy. What is the thing about Berlin? Can you quantify it? Can you like give me like the thing about it?
That's a tough question. I mean, I think for me it's just the amount of people that are into arts, and like that are maybe not even into arts, but they have a friend or a relative who are into arts, and they are into arts on a not just a surface level, but it's, you know, it's really their life.
Right.
And that's why it's unique, because it's yeah, it kind of draws all these people into this one city. And that also means that the support system is totally different from where I come from, Budapest. You know, like there's not really like of course I haven't been part of or I wasn't part of the Budapest art scene when I was living there, because I wasn't doing visuals, I was doing music back in Budapest. But you know, here in Berlin, everybody knows somebody who is making a living out of art, or who is successful or enjoying art or like being an artist as a lifestyle. And that means that when you talk to somebody and you talk about your practice or your struggles or whatever, they can easily relate to it. And that's what I kind of mean by the support system, that people just understand the struggle, let's say.
Interesting.
To me, that's my kind of view on it, or like that's how I felt when I moved here. Because when I moved here to Berlin, I was still a software developer. I wanted to become a music producer here, but you know, Touch Designer happened. And definitely having people around me, and especially where I live, Scope Berlin is an artist community, So all my neighbors, or like most of my neighbors, were artists also themselves. So being in this environment just really showed me that it's possible, that people do this. They struggle, obviously. It's always a struggle. Um, but there's a way, and if we stick together and we support each other, then we can do it. So yeah, that's kind of why I feel this way, because it happened to me like that.
Nice. Yeah, that was a really good
Yeah.
kind of like explanation, and it's just the vibe you feel. It's like there's just tons of artists around. It just feels like there's lots of events. I know I'm like such a country boy, and I'm like, oh, the city has events and things happening, but it's like, you know, I don't know. I've lived in a few cities, you know, and even though it was years ago, I still have the same feeling of like I know what it's like, and yeah, I don't know. Berlin was just so cool, and I just really enjoyed it. And I recommend people going there. Maybe, you know, there is obviously the Berlin trap. Every city has their trap. You know, you kind of like get stuck in this like, oh, I'm an artist, I'm a creator, and then like 10 years pass, and you're still like in that I'm a thing. So like anywhere you go,
Right.
you have to kind of like figure the thing out that you want to do and focus on it instead of like saying, you know, that you're doing the thing. It's like more doing than saying, I guess, is maybe a way to kind of
Yeah, obviously.
make that into a thing. Um,
Yeah, and also don't go partying too much, you know.
well,
Like
come on,
like
don't
if you move to Berlin,
what the hell? Don't listen to this guy.
no, you could be just doing touch designer. Come on, like.
I just I think the best is like touch designer at a party, like, you know, maybe like
Oh
the
yeah.
node meetups, but the node meetups should be like just tables. You know, like every node meetup should
Yeah.
just be tables. You have to bring a laptop to enter instead of having to like dress black. You have to bring a laptop to enter.
Yeah.
You know, you have to show your touch designer license to enter.
Right. The only time I'm in clubs is if I do any kind of visual stuff. So you know,
Yeah,
that's me.
that's for sure. No, I'm the same. I have not gone to a party without working at it for I don't know, a decade almost. But that's just like the life of a visual artist, you know, VJs and kind of people, you know, if you're a sound engineer or a DJ, probably is the same. You know, it's like, you know, you're kind
Yeah.
of in the scene from a very specific perspective. Oh, you know what? Last time I was in Berlin, not this time, but the time before, I went to a party just completely randomly to a club, and I had a great time. I had a great time.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I can't. But you know, I go to a lot of concerts. So Berlin is still great for people who just enjoy instrumental music, let's say, or not party music. And that's what I do.
Nice.
Yeah,
Loophole. Yeah,
but also,
Jan, it's
yeah,
definitely a loophole. Definitely a loophole.
I also have to say,
I work in
like when it,
parties. I work in parties. I have to party.
I
What
also
were you
have to
gonna say?
say
Sorry.
that like specifically like Berlin for touch designer, developers, artists, whoever, it's just such a great city. There's so many people here doing this, and for me, like, you know, 90% of my friends are in touch designer, and I met them through meetups. You know, you go to some events, you see familiar faces, you start talking. Next time you go just alone to an event, like any visual event, and then you see the same faces, and it's just such a nice, like, family vibe with the
Totally.
community here. And
Totally. I
there's
felt that
definitely,
instantly. You know, just from that one
yeah, and there's
event that I
definitely no
went
like
to.
like competition or like gatekeeping of
Mm,
any sorts, and that's what I love about all this.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, even that just that one event that I went to, the Node Institute event, and then the workshop that I gave, it was just like you just feel it right away. You know, this is like I think it's a general thing when it comes to communities. You know, it's like there's that global community you can go. I mean, at this point, you can almost go anywhere in the world and find a touch designer event or find a node-based
Oh yeah,
event, um, and you're gonna go there and you're gonna find the same people that you find. You know, like that's just like such a nice feeling. So yeah, I mean, fuck yeah. Thank you to all the awesome
fuck yeah,
community hosts out there that do the cool thing. Shout out Node Institute. And maybe you probably know better events than me. But, you know, anybody that does node-based events or touch designer-based events or visual-based events, we love you and we thank you.
yeah, definitely.
So Anything you want to shout out or say before we get out of here?
Yeah, if you're in Berlin, September 3 to 7,
Yes, of
or like
course.
even before or after, just shoot me a message. We'll hang out. Can show you our studio space in Monopol. It's by the way called
It's super
Katatumbo
cool.
Lab. It's not just our studio. It's together with a few other entities, studios and freelancers that we run this little studio space, and we're gonna do more things out of there. So yeah, just write to me whenever you're around and we'll hang.
Sweet. Yeah, Dan, thank you so much as usual for coming on here. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and get your. It's like
My pleasure.
a plug-in like matrix, you know, like a plug-in matrix download from you. So I really appreciate it, and yeah, thank you to everybody who tuned in. Anybody watching offline. Tune in next time. Come join us. Come ask questions to the guests. Come be part of the poll and be part of the community. Really trying to build a community here, and trying to expand it into different communities. So I'm so happy that Dan's Discord and Patreon were here as well, because it really helps us kind of like bring everybody together. Yeah, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. I just opened up recently a Twitch. It's a little bit silent there, but I'm going to start posting the episodes on the Twitch as well. And then hopefully when I get enough consecutive, you'd have to get like a bunch of consecutive upload times in order to be able to do private streams there. But then once that happens, then we'll start private streaming there as well. So
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you, Alon, for doing all this.
Of course, it's my pleasure. I love doing this, and
I wouldn't want anybody else to do this but you.
oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, well, I'm gonna cut off our audio here and then cut off the picture and say goodbye. See y'all later.
Bye. Bye.